Good morning, friends. When we left off last time, Gib and Roxy were getting ready to leave the house to head for the carnival, and Gib had grabbed some flashlights because I think he had in his head the idea that he wanted to go back to the forest on the way in order to look for the Unner. So I'm on page 32, and I'm going to get going. The farther we got from the friendly glow of the porch light, the tighter Roxy held on to me. "How come we're meeting Ash by the woods instead of at his house?" she said in a small, shaky voice. "I just want to spend a few minutes looking for something I dropped there this afternoon," I said. "It's perfectly safe." "Nuh-uh. What about that creepy guy? What if he gets us?" Remember, she's 6 years old. I gave her hand a little tug. My patience was getting threadbare. "Will you stop being such a worrywart? First of all, that guy wasn't creepy. He was actually kind of nice. And second, he's not there anymore." As the woods came into sight, she said, "I wish we had a dog, a big dog, like Old Yeller or Lassie, with big fat teeth, a dog that'd scare that creepy guy so bad he'd have to wear diapers." I almost laughed. "Don't worry," I said, "I'm bigger than Lassie." I did my imitation of a growling, barking dog, and Roxy giggled, which I took as a good sign. When we got to the woods, Ash wasn't there yet. I told Roxy she could either wait for him out by the street or come with me into the woods. Instead of answering, she started to cry and latched onto my jacket with both hands. "Will you please stop being such a scaredy cat? There's nothing here now that isn't here in the daytime." "How do you know?" she said. I rolled my eyes again and gave up trying to reason with her. I took a step toward the dark trees. Or to be more accurate, I tried to take a step. Roxy clung to my jacket like a 40-pound monkey and screamed as loudly as she could. "Cripes," I said, "be quiet. Everybody in town can hear you." "I don't like this place," she wailed. "I want to get out of here." "Roxy, how am I supposed to do anything? You're such a little dork." I probably should have been more patient with her, but so many things had gone wrong since that morning. I felt crabby at the whole world. Roxy switched from screams to pitiful moans. "How come you're being so mean to me? You dumb mean ball." She scrubbed at her eyes. Her hands had stew on them because I'd forgotten to clean her up after dinner. "Ow! Ow! I got something in my eye. It hurts, she howled. "I hate it here. I want to go home." I felt like kicking trees again. First Rainy Frogner, now Roxy. How come girls always thought I was mean? "Look, I'm sorry I called you a dork, okay? Don't cry." I tugged some of my t-shirt out from under my jacket and used it to brush her face off. "Is that better?" Before she could answer, we heard the crackle of leaves under something's footsteps. Roxy's spine-freezing scream sliced the darkness like a knife. Ooh, did you catch that simile? Sliced the darkness like a knife. All right, that's the end of chapter 3, but I'm going to keep going. Chapter 4 is called Madam Isis. I grabbed Roxy and covered her mouth as the nearby woods came alive with the scuttlings and flutterings of unseen creatures. My own heart banged against my ribs. There's nothing like the sound of pure terror to get your blood firing with adrenaline. "Who's there?" I said, trying hard to keep my voice steady. "Gib, it's just me, Ash." I let the breath out of my lungs in a long, deep rush. It wasn't all relief. Some of it was embarrassment. My flashlight beam came to rest on Ash's familiar freckled face and well-worn Giants baseball cap. He was laughing. "Hey, it's not funny, all right," I said. "You shouldn't sneak up on people in the dark." Then, realizing how wimpy that sounded, I went on in a hurry. "I mean, not me. Little kids like Roxy. You could give her nightmares doing that kind of stuff." "Sorry, I didn't think I was being that scary." He clamped his hands over his mouth to muffle a laugh. He could hide the smile on his mouth, but he couldn't hide it on the other parts of his face. It kept sneaking out and making his eyes squinch up and his eyebrows go crazy. Ash's frantic efforts to control himself were so funny, and Roxy and I were so glad he wasn't a bear, a ghost, or a serial killer, that pretty soon all three of us were laughing. "Oh man, I'm really sorry," he said, catching his breath at last. "But anyway, I'm here now, so let's get going. Carnival ahead." He turned, ready to lead the way up the street, but I stopped him. Wait a second. First, would you mind if we take a quick look for something I dropped in the woods this afternoon? Are you serious? I nodded. Aw, Gib, come on. Every minute we spend here is a minute we lose at the carnival. What could be so important? Yeah, said Roxy. I want you to stop for a second and think to yourself. If you were Gib, would you tell your best friend Ash about the Unner and the old man? Or would you keep that to yourself? Stop and make a prediction in your head. I shrugged, aware that anything I told Ash I would also be telling Roxy, and I'd never known her to keep a secret. Not even the time I promised her a whole bag of Jelly Bellies, not to tell Mom and Dad I had 4 live cockroaches in a jar under my bed. A pained frown replaced Ash's smile. You'll never find anything in the dark in all those leaves, unless it's tickets to go on the next space shuttle or something. It's a waste of time to try. Come on, I'll help you look in the morning. Yeah, Roxy said again, still looking scared. Let's get out of here. If the Unner could really do what the old man said, it was better than tickets on the next space shuttle. Part of me worried that it might get stepped on or carried off by animals if we left it lying in the woods all night. But some other part of me knew it wasn't safe to let myself believe in the Unner yet. After all, I hadn't been able to make it work when I'd tried it earlier. It would be pretty embarrassing if I delayed us for something that turned out to be a handful of useless junk. Besides, I too was anxious to get to the carnival. Ash waved his fingers in front of my eyes like a hypnotist. Think about it. Cotton candy, rides, hot dogs, Madam Isis tells your fortune. I see in your future a big prize at the coin toss booth. Yeah, cried Roxy, jumping up and down with her hands clasped under her chin. Could you win me a stuffed dog? Please, please, please. I shook my head and managed a tiny smile. Dad says a good sport always smiles in defeat. So the 3 of us headed for Lafferty Park and the carnival a few blocks away. The chilly autumn air, this is such a good example, by the way, of imagery. Listen to this. The chilly autumn air carried the faint screams of people on the tilt-a-whirl, or maybe the devil's elevator, rising and falling like waves. There's a simile. And every now and then a whiff of popcorn and roasted peanuts beckoned. They filled me with such anticipation that the old man and the Unner began to fade from my thoughts. In my excitement, I even stopped caring about Rainey Frogner and her effort to spoil things. I was headed for a carnival with Ash Jensen, and it was going to take more than a dumb, vengeful girl, Rainey, and more than an annoying kid sister, Roxy. More than a lost dream machine, the Unner, to keep me from having a good time.